Okay, so I gotta just get started. What time? I was two, as it says 2:04. I was just thinking I was 2:02 a second ago. So it's 2:04. But I couldn't sleep. There's like, there's so many things right now. So that's why I had to hurry up and start because um, I'm way too full. My mind is flooded right now. So one of the things was strange. So I fell asleep on the couch. So I'm so stiff. Definitely the couch, but also I am having such discomfort in my bed. Even where I've got this electric bed frame thing that sits up, and I wonder if it is something that they're jolting in the power, like they're doing stuff on purpose. Like there's even reasons why they got that shit in our beds under us, especially when you're seeing all this shit about grounding sheets and you can ground your bed to the outdoors. These people showing you all this kind of stuff. Like it's important how we sleep. It's no wonder people have insomnia, aren't getting rested, their circadian rhythms off, they're all on drugs and shit. Like it was a setup. So we got to be kind of easy on each other. It was a setup. So in my bed, if I unplug that, I can try that and see if that makes a difference. But there's still something weird. The energy and stuff, there's a lot of weird things. Like it's so weird too, is when I moved into my house, one of the things when I first came in, as I go in energetically and start feeling, what do I feel? Do I feel anybody here? Do I feel, because I've lived in so many haunted houses. It's like you just got to get used to it, going in and seeing who's here. And it felt so empty. And I was like, well, yeah, nobody's lived here. It was a vacation home, and it's probably barely had any life in it. And so it was so overgrown and stuff. And the guy who I bought it from had only been here 3 times. And I don't know how long he had stayed here. The neighbor told me that they never had seen him. And then the people before that, I think they had bought it, and then they were like, fuck, we don't need this. We don't hardly ever go. And then tried to sell it. And they tried to sell it for 10 years or something, and nobody would buy it. And there's a whole thing I have seen now about when I bought my house, how it was like so cheap. And then all of a sudden it just jacked up, like went up 200,000 over the next 6 months or something. And that was a whole thing. That's all coming out too. You can see that was a whole setup. As I saw, I don't go in and listen to all this stuff. I just I'll hear something, and it just it opens stuff in my mind. And then I always go with my mind, and my mind hasn't done me wrong so far. It keeps being pretty accurate over shit. So I'll just keep on going up in there, up to the committee. And so this morning too, I recognized, because of the sleeping, because it's not like I'm ever motherfucking asleep. It's like I'm on high alert. And it isn't like I'm nervous or a wreck or something. It's just like there's an awareness of me that I'm aware of that is not sleeping. And the weird thing is the recognition was this morning. I was thinking about it because I was I think I just went in to go pee, as I always go in to go pee before I start. And then I think I was in there washing my hands or something, and it came into my mind. And then I thought, oh, that's an energy I recognize. Where was that energy? And then it popped into my mind about when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I never used alarm clock or anything. I would always just tell them what time I needed to wake up, and they would wake me up. And I had already noticed that it was always. Like, that's why I stopped using the alarm clock, because it always woke me up 1 minute before the alarm clock went off. And I was just like, I don't even need this thing. I gotta just rely on them. My way of living is so different than other people's. I swear to God, I don't even know. The fucking thing is like, I really need to get a new one. But they're all just so, I have been looking. They're all just the same. They're all just, And it's so weird. I even put something down here, like I'm getting all into lighting or something now. I put something down here on the bottom part of the ring because that light coming up like that was like so weird looking. I mean, I love this. It gives so much more light on my face because especially in the dark, like, you know, like my eyes are a lot more deep set looking than how it looks with all the light on it. So, anyways, I like how it makes more light because then you can see better. But, anyways, but I don't fucking know what I look like. Nobody fucking knows what they look like. That's what's so crazy. You feel like what you think you don't know what you look like, but you don't have any clue. And, you know, it's the weirdest thing. Even when you're trying to look and figure it out, you can't look through every single person's eyes. You don't know what they notice. You don't know what they see. And so it's just, you just got to keep in mind, this is something that I learned from a very young age, is what you want to be reflecting out as your soul is, it's who you are on the inside. That's what matters. And that's who you need to be showing. And that it will make a difference over what you look like. But I don't think it makes a difference over how you feel, you know. But it you know, it can make, you could take somebody who's not attractive, and if they're beautiful on the inside and they focus on that, they become beautiful on the outside. And it isn't even like, it doesn't even have to change the way they look, but it's our perspective, it's our perception, it's how we see them, and you just see their beauty. And so I don't know, there's something to it. Like I said, they were always just, you know, they're always teaching. They're, you know, and everybody's got access to it. It's not just me that has access to these, you know, this committee to help you through life, you know, that you go to and talk to, and they help you through things and stuff. And they tell you things, and they give you information, you know. You just gotta you just gotta listen to them. And most people think it's all crazy stuff. They don't even know how to understand this stuff. They just call it woo-woo. It's just a little spooky. It's a little woo-woo. It's like, it's real. It's your real life. And it's weird as the person who is from real life, like, perspective, looking, and it's just always like, how are people so, like, why can't they see? And this is what my huge trigger was this morning, where I was like, oh my God, this is just like opening. I woke up, which another weird thing is on my binaural beats, you know, put those on, and it'll be weird because then it will be all the way to the end in the morning. But then if I look and stuff, it will be like I only slept 6 hours, but this is saying 10 hours. Or sometimes it maybe is like I've been asleep 5 hours. But then I said so many times the night seems so much longer than what the clock is saying. So I don't know, but I keep seeing video after video where people are saying everything on time is just falling apart. But that's a part of everything in our reality has to fall apart. So everything has to fall apart. But you have to understand what you are so it doesn't scare you. Because it doesn't scare you if you understand what you are. That's why I can sit back and just be like, not stressed, because I understand what I am. And then I watch as everybody scrambles around in fear, focused on what scares them the most and stuff, and not understanding at all about what they're focused and what they're creating and the energy they're putting out and stuff. So it is like this wildness going off right now that is, you know, but I know it has to happen, you know, and I know there's nothing I can do about it. And I know it's going to be sad, but it is so necessary to the growth of humanity. And, but so there was, when I got up, of course, Stella, I swear to God, I blink an eyelash, she hears it. And she's right away, oh, is it time to get up? I was like, dude, I just want to sit here. I just want to sit here and smoke a joint and kind of start trying to move my body and just chill, maybe look at some TikToks or something. And, maybe go back to sleep. But she's like, hell no, I'm waiting for you to fucking move. Let's go, girl. Get up, give me some treats. I want to go outside. I'm gonna go lay outside for a little while, then I'm gonna come back in. Then I want some more treats, and I'm probably gonna want some water. I'm gonna probably want some medicine. Then I'm gonna probably just be uncomfortable. I'm gonna probably come over and sit on your feet and cry at you for a little while. And I was just like, just go, go, go. From the time I fucking open my eyes, that's my karma. Seriously, because that's how I am to people in the morning time. I just am go. Just, you know what I was thinking about? You know what's going on in the world? And they're like, what? Wait, my brain's not functioning. It's like, mine's been going all night. Because the thing that I had recognized, I don't know if I had finished that energy was the energy that would wake me up. So that the energy that was watching over me all the time. Now I'm just listening to it. Like I'm listening to them. It's like, yeah, it's storming outside. It's very windy. It's going and going and going. What is that noise over there? And it's weird. It's like this watchdog watching over me. And so anyways, when I woke up, and I finally get to sit down and I turned on the Allison Co., I was so excited because like I always go in and check for my notifications, and I love, Crystal, to be able to get up and get a little message from you in the morning. It makes my morning start good. And so I I go into YouTube first. Well, at first, if I have a notification in the messages from my family, I'll go and check and see if there's something going on in my family. And then I'll go on to YouTube and see if there's messages or anything, because that is where I'm always like, something's going to happen. That's where I'm going to see things changing. And I see it changing, but I keep expecting this abrupt kind of like, but, I can see the climate. In the climate, like they've told me, it's gonna change. What people want to understand, what people are going to want to know about, they're not going to be calling it so woo-woo anymore then. They're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? So when we get to that point, that's when we're going to see a lot of changes going on my account, I think. But, we see it still, people rolling in and, looking and looking, trying to figure out, like, what the fuck is going on. And, but, a lot of stuff I talk about is way out there to people. Like I said, I've been laughed at and joked about for a long time over what I think and what I believe and stuff like that. So, anyways, I'm already so squirmy. I'm always squirmy. I swear, that's another thing too. I'm just always squirmy. That's another thing that drives somebody crazy. It says I talk about weird things and then I'm always moving around. And they keep coming up with new things too. Like, and more and more people are being diagnosed with autism, all of these neurodivergence and all that. It's because that's what we are, you guys. Y'all keep trying to fit in and be something that you're not. I'm just, weird. Like, I'm just weird. Like how I don't try and fit in. Like, I don't sit there and get hyper focused on something. Even if I'm sitting there and I'm like, na 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 na, and my mom's like, oh my God, Kelly, will you stop? I mean, recently. And I was like, what? She's like, you're just sitting there playing with your hair. You look so nervous or something. It's like, I'm not nervous. And she's like, well, you look like it. God, fuck. Give a flying fuck with so many things. If I want to sit here and I got to be moving. Something's got to be moving on me. I got to be doing something. And anyways, it's just, I haven't conformed like people. I was always able to stand and be laughed at, and I don't, but I always had a loud team. I always had the committee. The committee was always there, talking me through it. So, I wasn't traumatized. I'd not go kill myself or something like that. Like those people, when they get like that, it's the dark energy is surrounding them. The hateful, they're surrounded with dark energy. But and that dark energy is what feeds that thing that they were showing me about them not having the ability to feel, to just be like out there and only be able to watch us and try and understand, like a like what they say with the antisocial personality, the ones that they say drive or serial killers and whatnot. And to me, it's like, I think there's all different degrees of consciousness. There's all different degrees of awareness. There's all different degrees of mind control. So I think there's more going on. But that antisocial perspective is like based on them having no feeling. It's like they it's weird because it's like they, like, I don't know. It's like that when they watch, it's like they're trying to feel, or they're trying to understand feeling, or something. There's something, you know, I mean, and think about like the weird shit they like to watch, like people being tortured and stuff, like extreme. And we all are like, how? You know, what kind of degenerate, that's not the word I was thinking of. I can't think of it, but you know what I'm saying. We could do that. And it is, it's because they don't have that. They don't have feeling. They don't have feeling. It's like they're trying to feel. And then they're watching terror. And then they get that little thing that they get that, they get to feel that terror then. Because they, you know, take a shot. So, you know, like when it's taking a drink, like, are we even allowed to even, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you do a little like salt, and then you do the little lemon, and you do like, so they do like a little jolt like that. And then to get that in that word, because it's called frazzle is the first part. Razzle dazzle. It's not very razzly dazzly. And then the second word is drip. So it's and it's the leak. It's the bad one with HRC and Uma, and them terrorizing him. They think she's 10 or something like that. And she's tied. It's oh my god. She's tied to a thing, and they do all this horrendous stuff to terrorize her, even to the point that around hers, rip it off of her. Like, you're tied to a tree. Somebody comes up, does that, take yours off, puts it on theirs, and you're screaming, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why? What are you doing? And these two psychopaths dancing around, laughing, putting it on each other, you know, that dripping. The, you know, the Wilson, that's what he represents. And all of them, when they wear those little t-shirts, oh, Wilson. Yeah, it's cute. So all that is going down and whatnot. And then after they're done, like when it's just horrendous, then they jab a thing, I think through here. I don't remember. I've heard all of it. This is the big thing that all the cops who saw it were somehow, and I think there's 2 left. And but now it's you know, it's out there. But you know, tons of people don't know about it. But it's coming out. Fuck, I've heard about it, like, so I heard from over here, over there. It's out, like, and I don't remember, because I don't know how these visuals get in my fucking head. I don't think I saw it on the thing, and I don't know if, like, I don't even know at this point how I even know did I hear some of it? Or just hear people explaining it, and it puts the visual in your head. But my butt's already going to sleep. But so they do something, finally fucking put her out of her goddamn misery, and then they pull out, they get the juice as fast as possible, but then they pull out, I think they start drinking the juice before she's even gone. I think she sees a little of that. And then they pull a thing out, and it's called not a pecan, but a walnut. And then it's also, if you hear anything about that nut in the sauce, that's what they're talking about too. And they really like it. It's like a delicacy. It's like when you eat the artichoke and you get to the heart. That's what this is. And I think it's like the pineal gland or something. They reach there, they twist it out, and then they split it, and then they dance around like with super excitement. I think they even start doing it or something. Like, if you didn't know, Hillary's a lesbian. That is, these people who have been trafficked and stuff and have come out, yeah, she's not in the D. She's not into the D. She's like, no, I prefer the other business. But everything is such a charade. It's a giant charade, man. And, but, I keep having these different things on my mind, and then I get these, like, strange answers. And so the Allison Code thing, when I started watching, it was like, there was just, like, puzzle pieces going in, and I was like, oh, my God. And so I haven't even finished it. I'm barely even in it. And so I may come back and do another one after this, after I finish watching it. But it was just like, it was, whatever that, activating memories inside of me, putting together pieces so that I understood things. And so then it was like, oh my God, I got to talk about this. And so one of the things, so when I was talking about how these people who, all the people who are out there, the researchers and the people who get all caught up on the Illuminati and all that crap, then they talk all about the devils, and they look at the whole fucking world as devils. And these devils are trying to get them. God up, the holy mighty up in the sky is going to zip down here in a few and grab them up and help them out to get them out of this cesspool of evil. And so they've got this, like, I don't know, to me it's just very primitive. It's just like it's underdeveloped. It's like, that's the only way I can look at it. It's just an underdeveloped way of looking at life. Like that's why I would think they're here to learn some things. They're about to be woke up. They're about to find out. Like, life is different than what you think. That's what I think is this big awakening. And so, and that's what is so necessary, because we have to remember who and what we are. And in the Allison Code thing, it kept showing that was so much of a thing of what they were trying to do, was to make us not remember who we were. That's this whole fucking thing. And I don't know. I mean, I know there's other people besides me. I know there's other ones that came in somehow and weren't under their guise. And I don't know. Like, I would imagine we're going to start seeing each other or something. Like, we've got to be like on this vibration, this frequency. Like, we've got to be coming towards each other in alignment with our view, our seeing, what we understand and our perspectives and stuff. So it's like our frequency. But to me, there had to be other people who understood these things when they were kids and stuff, like me, that they had some sort of strong guidance, some sort of strong connection to understanding this other world. And because I don't know how it was that they got so many people to be so tricked and forget who they were. But I know that all of us came here to remind people, to help people remember, because people are trapped in this primitive way of thinking and understanding and stuff. So it's just, so I don't look at it as like, I'm better than you and I'm special and I did something better. No, it was like, I'm telling you, it wasn't like I had a choice. Well, I had a choice. I mean, they gave me a choice. Even, when I was little, if I was going to do something, it was always like, well, let's talk about it. So this and this, like, it was always, giving me perspective. And then even as I got older, I would ask other people. I was always looking for multiple perspectives. I was always trying to see everything from every direction I could. And people would always think like I wanted to know what they thought for different reasons, but I just needed to see from the best I could everything. And I knew that there was so many different ways to look at it. So I was always trying to understand it from other people's perspectives. But anyways, it's just, that is just something that I always did. And I just now, I see, like the point of, what the stuff that I had to go through or endure or whatever. But there was a reason for it. And but to me, even though they would give me a choice, like, and talk about it, and, and explain it to me, and I always made the choices. It wasn't like that they would force me, like even when I was little tiny and I was going to take the soapy water to my brother, and they still allowed me to take it, even though they told me I was going to get in trouble. But then after I got in trouble, see, they would sit and explain, like, I don't even know what was going on with other people, but they would sit and explain to me things. And so I was obviously thinking on an emotionally mature level, if that's what emotional maturity is all about. I was thinking on an emotionally mature level at a very young age. And I had perspectives that other people, I guess, didn't have available to them. And so I don't want to say like, I'm better than somebody, because I'm just the one who had that, like, was able to do it. I don't know what it's all about, but it was obviously meant to be that way, because like my whole fucking life, that's the way it's been. Like, that's why, I didn't even know it was different than everybody else, because I thought that's how everybody lived. It's really, when they sit there and say like, well, a gifted person is always shocked when they find out, like, go through and explain how I looked at life, how I saw things, and then going through and explaining about that other people don't and all that stuff, and how it's so shocking when the person realizes. And she was so accurate when she was explaining it. It was like, oh my gosh. But these are all levels of consciousness, when they don't let them trap you with a fucking label. Don't let them trap you with a diagnosis. You got to keep yourself moving in your opening your mind. I swear to God, all of these diagnoses and shit is to trap you and to get you on goddamn medicine. And the medicine is a huge trap. Like, I don't know how much I've talked about that, but I've seen it. Like, it is a trap for your consciousness. It's a trap for your psyche. It's a trap for your soul, for the essence of you. So, and I was under that trap. And I was, I feel like I was aging different. I feel like I was sicker. I felt like I was more beat down, like everything. And it made such a huge difference. But I had to go through so many different steps through the healing, so many different shedding of myself. And, after my dark night and stuff, and then I got so sick. And all of that is so representative too. Your physical is there to represent. So yeah, I'm shedding all this stuff and I'm getting so sick. I had to focus on myself. I had to focus on my health and stuff. And, I still was turning to them. It took a huge kick. You know, I felt like I was a real kick in the face. Go through appointment after appointment and jumping through all their goddamn hoops, waiting and waiting for this specialist, get the fuck in there. And then when I got to that one, the colonoscopy one, and then he wouldn't even give me medicine. But he treated me like such a scumbag drug addict. And I knew it was over the tattoos. I can tell. As soon as you're sitting there talking to somebody, you can tell. You know, their eyes start looking down and... You know, they're judging you. They, for some reason, have decided you're, you know, you're a stripper, you're a drug addict, and they have no value for a stripper or a drug addict. So, you know, that's why so many people don't realize all their biases. It's inside you. And so then, you know, but this was, you know, one of my big, like all the things leading up to the sheddings have all been giant, you know, things. So I'm not surprised at all for people's lives to be blowing up. Like, fuck, mine was blowing up and blowing up and blowing up and blowing up. And it was years. Like, all these people who think, like, it's just like, boom. No, it was years. And so, back when I was going through that stuff, that's where I kept seeing this is when things were going to change, was after this. I didn't know it was going to take this long, but it makes sense because like Corey Good and Daniel Scranton both said in their channeling that they were getting it was going to be more like in 2025 or 2027 was going to be the solar flash. And I am really kind of thinking, especially after listening to this thing with Allison Coe, is if the sun isn't up there somewhere, this giant ass portal isn't up there somewhere, but they are using something to reflect, like they're showing us a picture, they're reflecting it to create light and heat, because they do that in the BQH, the BQH or whatever. I gotta get a pillow to sit on. This is fucking BQH or something like that. It's like a QHHT. It's the one that Candace had started, who has quantum healers, and Allison Coe. So if you're looking for quantum healing, and I got associated with that when I was back in 2016, after I'd gone through that stuff, and I started going really into spiritual stuff, and I started, well, I'm going to start doing QHHT. I'm going to start doing it on people. And I was doing the class and stuff. And I was doing tarot. I was all into that stuff when I went back in 2016. So, you know, when I see people, it's like a natural graduation into your spirituality, into the 3D realm, into going into what you can access as your tools out there. You know, I mean, it's no surprise we got tons of people, you know, who've stepped into witchcraft, and everybody's like, want to do herbs and want to do magic and stuff like that. But it's just like, there's just so much ego going on that there's so much stuff that people don't see. And they don't look because they're so in ego. But that's why, you know, there's going to be this big old fucking kick in the boot. So, anyways, let me sit this down and... So anyways, this, and this cushion, I would check this cushion because I was like, maybe I should replace this cushion. I was like, this is a pretty good cushion. Like, what the fuck? But I don't know. When I'm sitting on it, it feels like I'm goddamn going, but this will start hurting too. I just have a bony ass. So, anyways, okay, I'm going to go back to those people. So the people who I was talking about, that have all the money, they all have all these rich ass names, and everybody thinks that they're the Illuminati and that they are devil worshippers and all that shit. And so what I had seen, what was that? I don't even know what it was. It could have been somebody sharing a video out of a documentary they were watching or something. I'm not sure. Some video I had seen on TikTok, and they were explaining about how the original people are, I mean, I wonder if this word would be flagged So I'm definitely going to say a weird, because it's O, let me think when I'm saying it, so I'm saying it weird. O-S, it's like the O-C, I gotta say it weird anyways. It's weird how you can see something and then you can hear it, but then you try and use your words to say, and it's like, what? Okay, the Oceani. It's like these are the original 13. And I was hearing about this back in 2020 because I had heard that that word, it sounds like an Italian family, was arrested, and that they were the original 13 families. And there was a lot of stuff that was going on in Italy during that time, during 2020. I don't remember what it was, but it was like, oh, because they got the OCEs. So then, so that was supposed to be like these original people. That's why they have all the money and all the power. They go all the way back, their family lineage. And I swear to God that I think that some of these people just keep going. They don't die like us because they have the hidden knowledge. They know the truth. And the truth is, you don't have to die. They are doing this because it's like they recycle energy, so they kill you when you're not productive enough. That's why it's coming right out in the fucking open. Goddamn Canada. You're a drug addict now. It is like, euthanasia time. Come on, line up. You drug addict. We got more drug addicts right now in the fucking, like over here in Canada, I'm sure, if they're putting that on the fucking ticket. Because in America, it's like insane. I mean, seeing the videos, it turns your stomach. It is so fucking, I don't even know, like, this is where you have to see that the city dwellers, the people who remain in this city, they have to cut themselves off a bit from their soul. They have to be in the dark, you know, because how can you go around and see that? How can you go around and not, you know, want out? People are trapped. Like, there's so many problems, but you see that stuff and you just think about the energy there and the darkness, and the people just keep putting their feelings aside. Like, it's, oh my God, it's so toxic. It's like a fucking, the cities are like a latrine at the fucking campground that's been not pumped all fucking summer after a goddamn revival concert or something. It's like, oh, the cities are so much filth, so much dirt and stink. And there's videos keep showing like total big giant sidewalks, you know, like when you're in downtown and shit, and you're walking around and the sidewalks like enough for 4 or 5 people to walk. I mean, when you start going further and further out, there's places there's not even sidewalks. That really shocked me when first time I went to a place and there wasn't sidewalks, and I was like, what in the hell? And it was crazy because when I was a kid, but when you're living in a city and then you go out further, it's like, what the hell? They don't have sidewalks out here? When the hillbilly podunk part of town are we in? And so it was just like weird. And but when you go out in the suburbs, like there's tons where there's no sidewalks and kids walk in the streets. So anyways, it's just different. But there, you know, the more inner city you go, it's like the sidewalks get bigger, like micro, macro. It's weird, huh? And so, and then the more inner, in the toxic nucleus of the energy, but there's like people just laying, like it just looks like dead people scattered around, and oh my God, it is so weird looking, and people just walking weird, people doing weird things. It is garbage everywhere. It just is a mess. I mean, how shameful. I would be so ashamed of myself if I was a mayor of one of these places. But see, they all have to be exposed for their crime. So everything had to be let go. Everything had to be shown, you know, what they were doing behind the scenes. And so it's being exposed, you know. They weren't caring for their communities. They weren't doing anything good for them. And, they brought crime, more and more crime in, and more drugs. They don't do anything to stop it. They don't care about the people. All they want is the people's energy and stuff. And now that these people are just functional, then they don't need their energy anymore. So then where they bringing in the cleaner uppers to come in and just wipe people out. Oh, I'm sure there's probably so much homeless death right now going on. Get those organs while you can. Get them all fresh. Because I've already said, they don't have any problem. You can use organs from a fucking drugged out body, no problem. So I'm sure there's oh God, I bet, because always people who go unnoticed, and then people whose families, gotten off on the drugs and been out there like that, and then they don't have any idea what's going on with their family members, and so it's easy to have them disappear, If people haven't talked to people in a year, they don't know where they are and stuff. And it's just, it's a mass wiping out. But it is also, they're using loopholes. They're using open doors. They're using open windows. So, although, they do just pour shit right down on top of us. And even in that, I recognize, and I try and keep my windows and fucking doors shut, but still, Ms. Snooty Pants over there has got to get out there and sniff everything. And so we have to go out and endure the fog. And if you didn't see what happened in the fog over in Louisiana, another bridge. And I don't know if they've closed that one down, but it was definitely closed for the whole day. But for one thing, if you get up and you see that the weather is treacherous and you just decide to go out and drive, and then you're driving just full speed when you can't see anything in front of you but a couple of lights, everybody's right on everybody's ass so that they can see their rear tail lights, and then somebody hits something, and then they all do for goddamn fucking miles or something. I don't know how far it stretched, but it was fucking huge. It was absolutely insane. And then they had them bursting into flames. They couldn't even get fire trucks there and shit. And but to me, it's what in the mindless hell is going on with people? What in the, oh God. So, it's those open windows. It's those, those are, dangerous. If you're not thinking for yourself, you just go out there and you just do dumbass shit. Even last night before I even went to bed, I was thinking it's Tuesday night, and I could not believe how everything was live. Every motherfucker's out there talking about something live, where they're out there mindlessly dancing or something. There's so much I don't even know. It's so weird. The energy's so fucking weird. And I still, how many of these content creators have got nothing better to do all of a sudden than everybody's fucking lip syncing? And I swear to God, this is so fucking mindless. It's so weird. It's just all of a sudden everybody's robot key come on, and everybody's puppet. They're all being puppet. This is weird. And then there was a zillion lives. And then I see these people just out at a bar, a whole bunch of people out at a bar. Well, no, I think it was a stage. So I think it was a concert, tons of concerts. And, for them they're in charge of the music industry. They're in charge of making these people go out and do this. Yet people think, well, let's just keep life going as it was. You guys, this is a fucking setup. Maybe they get their own bottles of alcohol delivered that's going to be served. But people keep going in to these open doors because it's what they're here to experience. It's what, it's how the shit has to play out. And but when you're watching, it's oh my God, what people keep doing and doing and doing. But it's that not knowing who you are gives them the open door to manipulate you and make you feel bad about yourself. So, okay, let me get back to this other thing, because so that family that I was saying, that seen that family. That is a name that they came. That was the original name of them, and then they went out and splintered out and came up with the names like the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs. So they go back to that original group. So one thing to keep in mind is that that group was managed already. And I had seen somebody a couple weeks ago saying, I wonder why the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, their properties for sale, which also, I guess the White House is on Zillow right now too. And to me, this is all too, it's like wake up, people. And so Rothschild, I'm sure all of these different rich people's stuff is for sale on there. They're either making they're buying everything up, or their shit's getting sold off. And when their shit is getting sold off, it is confiscated. That was the whole huge thing, that they confiscated all this stuff, and they're going to sell it off, and all the money goes back to the people. It goes back, I'm sure some of their victims' families will even get more. But, it's all a part of this big show. Just start putting pieces together, start noticing what is going on, and don't get caught up in the drama and what other people get scared about. And so those original people, they hold the secrets. They are the, another word that the ions, that starts with a Z. Those people, that's what they are, is these people. That they are the ones that hold the secrets. And then I don't know if it was kind of like these original people, like these settlers or something, to this place. So they would be low vibration, because on Allison Coe's thing, this girl, she goes back to the beginning times here, and she said that there weren't a lot of people that were coming here. It was like a brand new place, and it was very beautiful, but it was like a lower vibration. It was like a lower density. When I was seeing it, I was seeing this beautiful, captivating place that looks beautiful, but it sucks you in. And it always, this whole place is, for us, has all been about this dangling this beautiful carrot in front of you to get you to draw you in. Oh my God, that's in so many stories. So many stories. All the stories, I think, are meant to wake us up, to get us to think. Because when I was a little kid, fucking Emperor's New Clothes. Fuck, I knew that was some real shit, and here we are. So that family, so when they started coming here and inhabiting, so they're settlers that came here, but it was a lower vibration place, and the vibration was lower than where the other the souls were higher vibration. And so but there's more to it too, because where she was, she said, she was really interested about going, but then when she got down here, then she got trapped, and she was talking about the trappings and stuff, and then she was talking about how they cut the people off from their memory and who they were and stuff. And so there was other groups that had come, and this was a long time ago. This is the galactic part, the galactic war that we're going through part. That is where these people are, all the way back to that. That's what I'm saying. And they have hidden knowing. They have hidden knowledge that they know who we are. They tried to hide it from the other people. And in Allison Coe's thing, she said that in her place, that they had taken the scrolls of these true, because these were Lurians, and they were down here, and they were over, it was by like Egypt or something, I guess. And so they were down there, and so these Lurian people came down, and they had their own little territory. And I guess there was other places, like there was other beings that had come and settled around. And then these ones, though, decided to take over. But they did it in a sneaky way, how they always do it. They've been doing the same shit for goddamn ever. So they do it in a sneaky way. They always come in through this certain way. And one thing too, when she was talking, like back when it was just like, think about just all tribes and stuff, all different beings or whatever, all living, all these different tribes, all these different beings living around the planet, and being in harmony with the planet. That the planet, like the water and stuff, because it carries messages. The messages it's carrying to us is that it's polluted. The world's polluted. That it's sick. And we look at it and we can see. And there's like more to the messaging. But the water is reflective. It shows our inner, it shows what's going on. And it's like a barometer for the planet. And so when we're living in harmony, the frequency makes the water, it's like we send harmonics into the water, and the water becomes more crystalline. It becomes more beautiful. The color, it's almost like you can hear the water. Like just looking at it right now, and I can hear it. It's like tingling. And so but that is when we become in harmony. This is where we're headed towards. And the weird thing that is one of the things that I got this morning is we're headed back, though. We're headed towards back. It is weird because it's like we think we're here, but we're headed kind of like to Atlantis, because we're connecting back to ourselves, that we're there. We're connecting back to our true soul selves that used to reside in this kind of thing, and we're coming back to our true selves. And that is how it goes. It's like it goes back because we remember who we are. So it's so interesting. But so these people, they've been trying to mislead the whole time, because when we get back into harmony, everything is going to become, more beautiful. Because the water, when we're in harmony with the water, we change the harmonics with our own frequency. Like when we have time to go out and sit by the water and sing to the water or whatever, when we have appreciation, the water and us are in harmony. It's our resource. But see, that's where they always come in and interfere. And so in the Allison Code thing, she was talking about in the Lorrainian, like in their area, that they came in and they did something. They started messing with the resources in the water. And then they started taking the people's information, and the people were forgetting who they were, and they were hiding the information inside of statues. And then when she went back now and she could go in and look, she saw that the statues had scrolls inside of them, and the scrolls told who they were, where they were from. It told their true history about them. So that is what they are hiding. That's why there's all these different tribes, because all the way back when there was these original people, like there was these settlers, there was all these settlers from all different places, but there's always been these warring ones, and they could be here because the vibration was lower, but it was beautiful, and it was lush, and everybody wanted to come and experience it. But then they got people trapped here. They got souls trapped because they got them to forget who they were. And so she said in her thing that even through the time, they stopped looking like themselves. It was like they had to sign something, which I'll tell you another fucking weird thing. I just heard another goddamn weird story about one of those fucking Rockefeller, Rothschild, weirdo fucking places. This was a podcast, and I think it might have been Joe Rogan. And he's interviewing these two girls, and they went some tour, and he kept saying that's not real, and they were going, no, it really is. And they went on this weird tour, and it was like out in Arizona, and there's these stairs going up to nowhere. The stairs, like the stair thing is real. Everything's portals. You gotta see. And those stairs, that is like a clear sign there's a portal there. Go the other direction. And So there's stairs, and then you go in, and it's this whole weird house and this whole weird thing, just like them putting a fucking building a house over on a goddamn blood altar. In this one, no telling what's under here, because this is what they fucking know this shit. They've been around a long ass time. When they're sitting there looking all decrepit and talking, and just the way they talk, the way that motherfucker was talking in that interview, it's just this totally different way of, it's very old English, proper, very inflated, like uptight. I don't know. It's like these people, they, you know, I mean, they're a mess. They really are a mess. You know, they should have just let themselves die. That they just are, you know, they got themselves in a mess. They've lived their time out or something. I don't know if they're gonna. I think that they maybe are gonna go into some sort of like a cleaner, like they're going into a cleanup for the souls. Like they're gonna go into a spin. I don't know what the hell, but it's I don't know. Like they're not gonna just go up to general pop. I'll tell you that there's they're trapped in their vibration. Like we can leave. We have a higher vibration than what's here. But they don't. They've been trapped here a long. Well, they aren't trapped. They trapped other people, but they are bound themselves. They're bound to here, and I think that is what really gets them too. Is how we're able to come and we go through so much stuff, and that we can still find joy. We can still find happiness. We can still find love. We can care about one another, and that just kind of bothers them. It just kind of bothers them. Like they just don't get it because they don't have feelings. They don't feel for each other. They don't feel anything. And so, oh yeah, okay. So in this tour, so these girls went on this tour in this weird fucking house, and you go around with this person, and then they said, you get to this part, you have to go through this thing. It's like a portal. You have to go to this middle, and then you have to step on it and say a wish. You got to make a wish. Then you got to come off of it and go over and sign a paper. And you can't leave the tour unless you do this. And so these girls were like, hell no. And the lady's like, you have to. And the girls were like, no. And the girls refused, and they left, and the lady got really, really pissed. I was like, oh my God, these motherfucking Rothschilds. Damn. Like, who the fuck? How many people did go up and do that shit? Because they just think, oh, it's a gimmick, it's fun and shit. It's like, motherfucker, you just don't even know what you just did to yourself. You bind yourself to these motherfuckers. They suck your energy right out of you. They probably put fucking dark energy on you. And to suckle your energy out of you. But in Allison Coe's thing, this Lurian lady, she said that, she said she was from Syria, but she said she looked like a lion. So I'm just saying that Lurian, you know, I don't know. She just looked like a lion. And when you look back at Egypt and stuff like that, where all those different pictures, you know, and they always had all these different bodies and these different heads and shit. Like there's lots of things, because this girl, she said, you know, she looked like a regular person, but her face looked more like a lion face. So there's like all these beings that looked more like themselves. But somehow, whatever they did, they got him to change how they looked. So they got him to start looking more like a human. And she said, because she was like 600 years old when she was going into this life. And she said that, and so they had her go back and look, and it was around when she was 200. So she had been living 400 years, looking more like a person. So it was something that happened. And I don't know if they did some kind of ceremony, if they got people to quit seeing themselves that way by cutting them off from their history, so they forgot who they were. And because if you noticed how many people are starting to look kind of like more like aliens or something, like you're starting to see like more characteristics and stuff. Like, I think our eyes are adjusting, you know? So, so as like we're remembering and stuff, and I'm not saying we're all going to turn into like, all of a sudden we're going to turn into like blue avians and Lurians and stuff like that. I don't think, because I think what we're going to turn into is, because if you listen to more of Allison Coe's things, all the different people, like you got to go back to older ones, all the different people who were seen after the age of Aquarius, after all this stuff goes down, that they all looked really good. Everybody kept saying, like, man, I look like myself, but I look so much better. Like, I look really fit. Like, all the girls kept saying my hair is so much longer and thicker. And all the guys kept saying they were so much more muscular. And so I think it is kind of like we adjust ourselves back in this vibration, these med bed, vibration bed things, that when we go in there, it raises our frequency, but it adjusts to what you want to look like. And I think most people want to look like themselves, only, you know, better. Like, most people are like, well, oh, you know, I'd like to look a little bit more like this, a little bit more like that, you know, like I'd like my eyebrows to be a little darker or whatever. And then, so you it's like you're the formatter, you're the processor, you're the one who decides. And so then you make it happen. You create it. So we're going to look like our best versions of ourselves, and then we're not going to age past that. I mean, we would stay looking that way until we die, if we decide we want to die. But we can stay because it's kind of like it's kind of like the best of both worlds, because we get to be a soul and be alive at the same time. It's like this really cool transformation that is happening. But it is kind of like we go back into touch with ourselves, into our higher selves, and that takes us back to this other time, like Atlantis, when the people were like that, when they were connected to themselves and stuff. And it's weird too, is, you know, how many of us like are here from these certain times. And this is going to be so interesting as this plays out. Well, for some of us who understand life on this other level, you know, and I'll keep sharing about it, because I'm sure it's got to be interesting, even if it's people aren't looking at it from that perspective. But I think more and more people are going to become more and more interested in it, because it is what is our real life. But so I think this original people with that name, and maybe that has something to do with where they're from, you know, their planet, their settler place. But they always had that desire to be in control, and to control others, and to take others over, and to build up their population of slaves, so that they can have workers. And I wonder if, like, the bluish group, if that was a group that was like because they always get, because how they've done it, like, they always have the ones on horseback. Like, they have the slaves, but then they have the ones on horseback. And those ones are really driven by ego and division and hierarchy. So they're really dysfunctional personalities. They really don't give a fuck. And so that's a personality. And they're always looking for those personalities. They look for them in schools. They look for them in jails. They look for them in military. There's certain personalities that they want, but they use them. They don't, it's not like they're going to build them up. They just use people. So they use guys that are like that, like they're cops and shit. So so if they got this other group that was, I don't know that they could control the ones that could be on horseback, because those people, the way they're like, the Goramin, you know, the way it's just, you can hear the disdain in their voice that, you know, in the hierarchy is quite loud and clear. Like, I don't know what it's like to go and listen in a synagogue and stuff like that. It's so funny too, is like, I worked for a Jewish doctor. I was like 24, 25, I was his office manager. And, we were pretty close. Like, I was around his family and stuff like that. And I was interested about Judaism, or the Jewish religion. Like, I didn't even know anything about it. I was already had left Christianity. And so I was like, oh my gosh, all these different religions. I was meeting these Catholic boys who were so held back by guilt. And they were, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, what's up with this Catholic shit? And then it was Jewish. And I swear to God, I asked to go. And it was like, you can't go. And I don't know if I'm if I'm remembering this right, but it's like, fuck, I don't think, like, maybe any old person is allowed at their services. I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but it sure makes sense if we're not, because it sure seems to be like this hierarchy, hidden society kind of situation of like, they're better, that the rest of the other people are, this Gorum Gentile, like, I'm not even sure what all their words are all like, all these. I heard somebody doing a breakdown the other day that was just fascinating, and I can't think of I'd have to think of the words. It was something with men. All these words that had men in them, but they were all words as to negative, and we use them all the time. But it was, oh my gosh, when you hear it from that perspective, it's like, oh my God, it's like all we're doing all day long is saying we don't deserve anything, we're garbage, we're lucky that you give us a breath, an opportunity to have a breath. And they're coming in hard on the bugs now. Oh my God, like, fuck, on the food. When you see the people who's talking about that shit, it's like, oh my God, this is just like, just feed us the grub worms, like, goddamn, like, we're nothing to these people. So they work into the hand, and then it seems like there's something with the hidden societies. There's something, and I'm not sure, because like, all those people are not all of the same religion or persuasion or whatever it is. So they get them, and I don't know that they all get to know all things. I still think there's a hierarchy of knowledge, and what the people know is like all on a need-to-know basis, and they're not going to give all their secrets. So the people at the very top, like those original families, know. I think that's why they consume so much, but they also have no feeling. Like, they are really a different kind, like a total different breed. Like, because they really are from like a different planet, and they are like vampiric, and they are like because they are parasitic in what it is that they need to live on. And then we've just got the folklore that calls it that, but they are some kind of beings that are parasitic, and so they use the energy, and they don't have feelings. They don't have they just don't feel. And so but then look at how much that they can thrive off of our energies and our feelings and stuff. Fuck, confirmation. We fucking move their world. We make their world. We give them life. We give them purpose. Like, what would they be without us, And that's what I think, that they are so scared of us waking up, because they know they're nothing without us. They need us. They need our blind commitment. They need our ignorance in order for them to survive. And because once we understand them, we're cleansing. we're cleansing our life, we're moving in a different direction. And so they are, so then there's like all these other, like where there's all these different tribes and stuff. Because it's like, I'm always wondering, like, well, like you have this tribe and this tribe and this tribe. And then I know like the Anunnaki are in there, they fit in there. And but I think the Anunnaki are against these people. I think that there was like the Anunnaki, like, because during this time and all these different people were coming, and then there was settlers and stuff, but the Anunnaki were coming here to take resources. And there was lots of different people. Even she says that in the Allison Coe thing. There was lots of different planets that they just thought it was a beautiful place. They didn't know what to do with it, but they wanted to take things from it. So it was like, you know, everybody here going into a beautiful field of flowers to pick the flowers. So everybody was coming from all these different planets, from all these different places to come into this. And to me, like, think of it as like being in the ocean, and all of a sudden this like beautiful flower goes, and everybody's like, what's that? And everybody wants to go and see it. And so, but the Anunnaki, when they came, I think they're like, they were, whatever their frequency didn't fit well with the, and I think they were big. I think they're really big, like Vikings. I feel like the Vikings and stuff come more from these people. And that they were really huge, and they needed like smaller workers that could get stuff done. And that's when they did stuff to manipulate the DNA and make these other beings that are more, you know, the ones that call themselves the original people. Because there's a bunch of people who I think have realized this, like they're connected to this planet through their it's through the melanin and stuff too. It's through their DNA. It's like they're connected. So they come from that back where it was the Neanderthal, and then they did the Homo sapien, then they did the Homo sapiens sapiens. So they kept, you know, messing with it in the lab to get these workers. So then that put this other tribe out there. So there was this tribe of people that started to, you know, there was all these other, there was all these people coming from other places. So it was helping the original people develop. They were developing. And I think, you know, you go back where you would say, like the people in Australia, that those people, I can't think of what they're called. I think down about like where they keep saying like around in Florida and stuff, or like around where the Caribbean and stuff, like there's a certain, I think it's like a certain features and stuff. And so those people are more like the original people. And they were learning and stuff from the other, all these people that would come down from all these other places. But then there was some kind of like that would come down and do settlers or whatever. They would try and have their own places. And then these people who wanted control started moving out and controlling. They started coming up with masterful ways to control people. And they're, you know, and they came up with the money system and all these different things to try and, because they did that a lot throughout time, like in Rome and stuff. But it is also for the human, for the souls, for the people who come here, the soul groups. So you think about the souls, that's separate. Like, you got to think about this place as a lot of different realities. So you have this place, and it pops up. And so you have all these people coming from all these different places. And then some of them start making these other people, not making people, but, you know, just tweaking DNA to make them more civilized, keeps coming in my mind, but to make them more controllable so that they could get them to do their work for them, because it was too hard. And I don't think, I think that they weren't happy as they were doing it. I guess that's in the Sumerian tablets, that they would wipe them out because they still were too like animal-like, and that we just would grunt and groan, and you know, they make a lot of noises and just always humping each other and shit, and it grossed them out. And so then they killed them all and started again, and they did that Homo sapien, and then the Homo sapien sapiens. So they got it to a point where they still, supposedly, I guess in the tablets, it's still, they still looked down on them like, ugh, gross little animals. But as the animals evolved, because all of these other beings would come and help them, and so they were being helped, and they were evolving, and they were also going out and making you know, homes and stuff, just like the other beings that were coming. And so there was like harmony where there was life, but then these people who wanted to control it came in and started messing. And that's this other level of this galactic war that we have going on. Because for the souls, so through the different experiences, because this is like a projection, through the different experiences that we can come down, but the ages, the experiences, because there's souls here, it's like different levels. It is like, because being birthed into it is different than just coming and landing here on your ship. But they're just as alive as we are. It's different. See, we're going into that state more. We're going into this higher state of consciousness so that we can move around more like that. That's what busts this all up, is the people remembering who they are, and they're, you know, they're not here to be governed. They were here to, it got taken over. Everybody got, their minds got taken over. Their minds got corrupted. And in this place is just so dark energy. It's so full of darkness. And because those people are, and I think that their hidden stuff is all metaphysical. It is that's the stuff that is, you know, the stuff I, you know, the stuff that people think is crazy is the real stuff. And they know, and they have more control, and the other people don't know, and they are desperate trying to figure out what they are, and they go to whatever, you know, this book, oh, it's magic, you know, all this. My nose is just running like crazy. It has been pouring all fucking, like, it has been such a storm. I'm so glad I didn't go now, because then yesterday I got a notification that, no, it was on TikTok. I saw a video. It was an alert about Stevens Pass, and the other pass is going to be snoqualmie. That's like that's already closed. So two passes I can get out would be Stevens Pass and Snoqualmie Pass. And one was to get 15 inches yesterday, and I think the other one was to get 12 inches. So they're already starting on the pass problem. So I'm probably going to be trapped over here now for the fucking winter. But it's just like, whatever. I'm glad I didn't go and drive and get over there. And then, oh my gosh. But I was feeling like, and I'm glad I listened to my own self, my own gut, and didn't go. I'm so glad. That would suck. Then being stuck. Oh my gosh. So anyways, let me think. And it was snowing in Spokane. Like, it was just a huge storm over here where I'm at, like in Washington State. Like, I don't know what's up. Like, the weather is just totally whacked out. It's just coming from no place. Like, you go on to look at the weather thing, don't depend on that, because a little while later the whole fucking thing changes. So it's totally whacked out. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing. And so anyways, so you have these people who want to control everybody else, who will go to any degree, but you have souls that come in and get birthed in. So there's other things going on outside of our awareness, so we come in to experience these different ages, these different opportunities for experience. So it's like layers of things going on, like it's realms and realities. There's other things going on that we don't even understand about, but that is like, because I've heard, like, you can hear fighting up in the goddamn sky. And sometimes I think, are they bringing in these storms to cover it up, just like they're trying to hide stuff up in the thing? Because for a couple years, a really bad rainstorm will come in, and then they'll start doing this thunder. It does not sound like thunder. It'll have weird colors shooting up in the thing. It'll have like a really heavy atmospheric like thing where you can't see through it, but you can hear it. And it sounds like a fucking, galactic battle going on up above you, not fucking thunder. So it's crazy. But, it's all different levels. Other people who have no awareness of that wouldn't even be thinking of that. They would just be thinking, oh, it's another storm. It's thundering really loud. But everybody is beginning to wake up and question things and look at things more. And so many people are noticing all sorts of things. So people are waking up and realizing. And so it's happening. It is going. We're in the process of it occurring, It's just as slow, but it has to be slow because, it's a hard thing to wrap your head around. I mean, I know a lot of people, they wake up and then they go straight up in their ego, like, I'm an Anunnaki and I'm an Anunnaki princess and I'm a Lurian king and all that stuff. Like I said, everybody's way more powerful than they think, but you got to be thinking about like what's going on here. It isn't, there's more to it than just remembering who you are. You've got purpose, you've got a mission, you've got, things you're doing. And then we're in this huge transition. So you have like a mission, you have a part you're playing. So it's, when some people's parts is just to go out there, and say, they're above other people, they're royalty from another planet, and they know this and they know that, and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's just everything is just like, that's what it feels like when I go on TikTok. It's just wacky, 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 wacky. Like, what the fuck? That is this, it's like the purging of that energy. It's like, that has to come out of people. It has to come to the surface. And it's all coming out. It's all coming to the surface. But it's just weird is because when this happens, it's going to be like the Emperor's New Clothes. It's going to be like all of a sudden all these people are going to feel naked. And people who think that they... I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it goes. And but one thing I for sure have noticed on the TikTok, what they're doing, they're jacking around something. I don't know, because I've seen other people now besides me saying, I'm reaching the end in a couple minutes, and I'm seeing all the same videos over and over and over and over and over and over, or brand new ones from people who are just dancing and lip syncing and shit. And so they're definitely trying to make sure we're not seeing something. And I don't know what it is. So I don't know if, there's tons and tons of people going to the banks and they're not being able to get access to their money. I know that was going on across Europe. Haven't seen any of that. And not seeing any of the violence and stuff. Because I know that there's violence going on in the streets and stuff. I'll see like a news clip here or there. But where's all the videos of the people? I mean, every motherfucker's got their goddamn camera leading their life. Everybody's out there looking to go viral. Well, where's all the viral videos of all this crazy chaos going on? Like, they're hiding stuff. They're not wanting us to see things. And I don't know if it's like they were trying to control our minds over what we look at. They don't want us to see the truth because they're scared that's going to wake us up. So they keep trying to give us other things to focus to try and keep our minds in their trap. I'm not sure, but it's weird. But so you have all these people, all this shit going on and not seeing any videos about it. So no, like, I don't know about any storm, nothing. Like, there can be complete crazy shit going on everywhere, and they're just, keep telling us like, everything's fine, get up this morning and have a good day. It's just so fucking Truman Show. Like, god damn, it's so weird. Like, I saw some news clip yesterday, and I can't even remember what it was. And it was some serious thing, and they were minimizing it. And it just was like, oh my God, this is so much the Truman Show. And how when he wanted to leave, and he would turn on the TV, and then it would be like telling him, That's what I feel like that they're doing. Like, I know that all this shit talks to us. The other people don't get it. They don't realize that you're being programmed and everything's talking to you. And so, I think that they are, they're like keeping people trapped in their minds by manipulating the information that is coming through and leading you, because the things they lead you on is like doesn't match. It's like it throws you off, and it gets you to keep questioning. It gets you to keep like, but when you see the truth, then it wakes you up. It makes you find peace. It makes you understand. You see solutions. And so your mind just starts opening. It just starts changing. And they want to keep it in this controlled environment, this controlled atmosphere where they're telling you what's going on. So anyways, I think that there's a lot going on. I think that there's no telling. I don't know. There's something like the government people are all spinning out. There's like a whole shit ton of stuff going on with Congress, and why don't they have a speaker yet? And they need to do this. And I guess Trump's back into the mix again. And so, I don't know. It's all this drama. It's all a big drama to get attention, to get people's attention on it, and to get the people who are so hyper focused on it to fucking let go, to get so frustrated, to be like, this is so fucking ridiculous. I am seeing more people now saying, this is stupid, you guys. Like, to think that we aren't going to go in and vote. Like, people are waking up to all of that stuff that I've been saying. Because some people, they get so mad at you if you say, it's like, no, you don't give them that power anymore. We don't give them the power. We don't go to them and ask them for the solutions. We don't ask them for shit. These people want to control and corrupt your life. And they suck your energy out. And when you no longer serve them, they fucking dispose of you. They don't care if you've got connections. You don't care if you're a grandpa. They don't give a fuck. They just want you out. And they will take the weaker of mind and they will get them on drugs. They will, and they say it right in their goddamn mission statement. I mean, everything that they follow through. They follow through. Gotta give them that. They follow through over fucking centuries. So, but we come in on this other level. So to go through these experiences, because we are the creator. We are the creators. We are the expansion. We are what moves the universe. We are the signals. We are all of we are the signals to intelligence. We are the sparks. We're everything that keeps everything in movement. We're the everything. And so we every time that there's an experience, then it's like go in. Everybody goes in to have these different experiences, because that experience evolves the world, but it also, for each soul, it raises your vibration and increases your awareness and your understanding, your compassion and your empathy for other beings, because you don't feel judgment towards them, because through your experiences you learn that people make decisions and based on what they're going through, that anybody can be pushed to do anything. It all depends on where they're at in their life. And so we can't sit here and judge others, because we don't, but the more lives you live, the more you connect with that, then the more you open your compassion up to everyone's experience and understanding and not judging it. But so that's like all different levels. So you have these levels of coming in and learning and experiencing, but then, you have these other beings that are on this other, because I think, I think the ones that have all changed their names to all those fancy rich names, that they definitely have communication, but it's like, has their communication kind of been cut off throughout time? And that's why they do rituals and offerings, that they're trying to connect, but they've become so corroded. It's almost like they were forgotten by their own people from their own planet. But they also, they have warring people that they draw in So people who want to control, they draw those people in. But it's on all different levels over who is allowed to, know people, or how, because like the government, what was that? Oh, that was a weird thing. And I don't know what, so many people are coming up with so much stuff. And so, and they'll set it up to where it looks like it's a news article and stuff. So you don't know what's what. But I'll still share it because it was interesting. Because there's a lot of weird shit coming up about Melania. And, she is really giant. Like, she fucking could be an Anunnaki. She could be like a petite Anunnaki person. Like, I think they're really giant. And she's like 5'11" or something. Like, she's very tall. Like, their kid is like 6'7". And Trump is like 6'4". They're really big people. But it may have been a tweet and also a Truth Social thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they keep leaking out. And, but they called her somebody from someplace else, like this Serbia or whatever. But somebody was showing where that is outside of the ice wall where she's from. And so, I don't know. I don't know what all's going to come, what all we're going to find out. If she is here from outside, she had some thing that she said the other day. It was all about this spiritual awakening and stuff. So I don't know her role. I don't know any of the people's roles. I don't know if her and, maybe her and her son come from somewhere else. And this has all been a show. And she's not really married to him. That they're just really good friends. Maybe she looks at him like a grandpa or dad or something. Like, I don't know all this different stuff. She's here to play some role. I've seen people say that she's really Putin's wife. Which is like, that guy's like 5'3". Like, she could be a foot taller than him. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a match to me. They don't seem matched. So I don't know if I jive with that. But, she could be from some other place outside the ice wall. She could be of a higher vibration. She could be, I don't know. I still think the Lady Di person, if she's back, that's really her. That's not some hidden love child. Is her. And she's gone through the med beds. And I think go see her and look at that. And that should give you hope. You should be able to be like, hell yeah, I'm just going to go back to being young and healthy and feeling good. And, before they poison the fuck out of us. But, it's a part of this whole movie. It's a whole thing that has to work out, and it leads into this other thing. So it's hugely significant to the history of mankind, what's happening right now. And so it has to happen. It has to play out. The things have to play out. Destiny has to occur. That's part of the experiencing it, is allowing it to play out, allowing it to occur. So anyways, but the people, the original people and stuff, and see, I think there's like a certain sect, even like this Kabbalah thing. I think that when they start getting into the mysticism, the religious parts that start getting into the mysticism, and I don't know if there's different religious leaders that they were allowed to understand different mysticism and that they have their own sect. I don't know if the Freemasons, I don't know, all these different groups, what they get to know and all this stuff. But what's real is it does have all to do with, mysticism and this understanding, understanding you're a soul, understanding your consciousness, understanding how energy, understanding about all of these different things. That is, to me, all of that stuff is available to people. They make it like it's hidden knowledge, but it's like, fuck, I knew about this shit. Like, but I think that's what they were looking for. When they were looking for different of us, they were trying to find those of us who knew stuff. And I don't know if it was in the questions in this test in school or something, And that's why my guides were telling me, don't do the test, just fill in the circles. I don't know if they ask things a certain way to try and weed us out and find us. You know, I don't know. I feel like they've definitely have been like after us. Those of us who know, you know, even just getting us to beat down in society, to feel bad, like, you know, like they don't want other people to know, so that they get people to turn on people and make fun of them, and make it like we're the joke or something. But we weren't. Like, we knew the stuff that they were trying to hide, like, because like I've said, I was living very different life than other people, and I couldn't understand, you know, like, because I don't know, at 3 years old, I'm sitting there with the moral police. We're going over and understanding and looking at things from a higher perspective. And I always had the awareness. They were always telling me I was being watched. Like, I always knew we had people there who were helping us. We had people talking to us. There's like tons and tons of things I knew, and that other people didn't know. But then anything you would say, people would make fun of you and say that that's not true. It's like, but how can it not be true if I'm living it? Aren't I living proof of it? But it's like people were so cut off from, it's like they're kind of trying to pull people into this not feeling, or just feeling what they want them to feel or something. Is weird. But anyways, we are where we are, you know. And there's another thing too, is like, I feel all throughout my life like there was something that was always trying to kill me or something. It's weird. It's weird how many things that I've had happen. And, you know, but it definitely makes me know for sure you don't die until it's your time. You have a set time. You have a set time, your birth, and a set time you leave. It's just your enter and exit. It's just a set. There's nothing, you can't do anything to change it. There's nothing to, you know, it's a set thing. It's your schedule. It's your itinerary. It's not changing. It's not fluctuating. And so you know, and I definitely learned that, you know, all the different things that I've gone through. I think anybody who has had situations where they're like, fuck, I could have died. God, I could have died. I could have died. I could have died. And you have those, and you start seeing like, okay, there's more to this death thing. You don't just die just because like you got in an accident and you could have died. No, there's more to it. And so, you know, it's just, it is an awareness. It's an understanding. It's a looking at things. It's, you know, trying to understand your existence. So, but anyways, but don't feel bad if you haven't, if you've spent your whole life and you haven't, and you were just trying to survive and stuff. That's what they, you know, programmed you to do. And it's deep programming. And, you know, honestly, you don't know how many, you know, rounds your soul has been. As that girl was saying in this Allison Code thing, is like, you know, it's like they try and keep you trapped. They want to keep your energy here. And so then they keep you in their world, keeping their world going. Because it's some sort of, I don't know if it is, because, okay, so how I see it is, in other places, like in all these other planets and stuff, where, you know, like I said, they were in a higher place and then they came down. What is so weird is this visual thing on my TV. It always does that. That is so weird, because this is like a beautiful rose right at the front with a whole bunch of roses, but it's all made like a planet, but there's a light that's going right on it. And then it goes down, it's rooted into this base. And this base goes out, and there's other lands where there's other things pop up. They're completely different from that thing that looked like a castle. And over on this side, is another one that's like a castle up in the air that is all lit up. So like different realms. There's even flowers that are out floating, and then there's tons of stars that are going out all over the place. And it's like the different realms, all these different existences, and the beauty that was drawing them in, this highlight of this beauty that pulled them. And so they left their safety places, their safety planets. Like this is micro, macro. Think of how everybody went into the city, left the counties, left the smaller places, which also this new movie, The Killing Moon, that's coming out, that is, I think shows exactly what I've been talking about with this hierarchy and how they, like, I watched a little documentary thing on it yesterday. I was like, oh my, and it is exactly what I've been talking about. So anyways, this beauty that draws them in, and so they come and from their place. And so in all these other places where these other souls reside that are high frequency, then they don't have any, they don't have karma. They don't have, because they live in a place, in a state that they are mindful. They don't create it. But when you come here, it's created because of the low density and the confirmation and the mindlessness of how people live, of not being mindful, being mindless. And so they, so when the people come back in the start, when they were coming here and they were drawn in and they came, that is when they got themselves trapped, like in karmic cycles. They got kind of like, they started building it, and then in order to fix it, you had to go back in. That's why I said, like, all these people who come out in their, like, when they die and they go to their life review, and they see the error of their own ways, they see their own mistakes, they see the things they want to fix, they come, right? There's no accident that my grandparents are always here with me. Like your grandparents, all the people who, you know, if your mom died, you know, she's there with you. What binds the people, we bind to each other through these karmic, through these situations playing out. And then it is like all these different souls coming from all over the place. So we're all different. But see, then it was like, so when they started going and taking over all these different things, there was a certain point where it had to be that they had to leave, to let stuff play out. They had to let man evolve. They had to let them see what would go down. That was the whole thing about here on this planet, in the planetary war that's going on, is they had to leave mankind to evolve. And we did evolve. We did break free. We did start waking up. We did start seeing. And but one of the things that helped us, you know, the hand of God, is these people got so bad and so evil that we had no choice. Like, we had to see what they were doing, you know. I mean, they're fucking lab creating people now, in trying to be even more manipulative, because they're not just doing it to, like, how the Anunnaki came, and it was like more of a necessity of needing somebody to do their work for them that was more natural to this place. And then, but also to be able to, it was like made, in some senses, made their lives better by giving them more opportunity and intelligence and stuff. So, but it was, there was still an interference. But what these other people doing now, that they've got all these mad scientists out here, and who knows, like all the different souls born in and stuff, but that all these mad scientists, that they are, I gotta turn this kind of a little, I can sit back more. Then, so these mad scientists that are all, you know, trying to out mad scientists one another, and they're so cut off. You know, they're so cut off from their feelings and stuff. And that's why they do all of this kind of like weird, like the pro glider, the CERN thing, you know, like they're trying to break through. They're trying to break through to the other side, but it's by vibration and frequency. Like they are like where they would break through would be a lower vibration. It wouldn't be a higher vibration. But it's just weird. It's like, do these people not understand? Like, I don't understand. It's like they're just cut off and trying to control something. It's weird. But, and, you know, they're the ones who do all this messing with all of us, you know, like these dog breeders and shit. Part of my hair is driving me crazy. I see, like, when I go and look in the mirror, I see, like, there's tons of hairs that are growing all right here. So, but it's, anyways, it just is, annoying. But it also is annoying because I just feel like all of this hair has been falling out, too. And then, and now, but I'm glad it's growing back. But I didn't even know so much of it falling out. But anyways, it's just weird. The whole thing is annoying. It's like, we're not even flesh and blood. And then why is it, I'm a fucking goddamn picture. How are they interfering with my goddamn picture? So it's just like, because it's so much more elaborate. It's so much more complex than what we seem, which even makes it more interesting and more fantastic. So it's, I mean, it's all interesting and fantastic, but right now it's frustrating because they can mess with us and make us feel sick, make us feel, get us sick. And then that's what their intention is to do. So, anyways, they don't care about us, they just use us like lab rats and shit. And so it's like, there's so much, God, there's so much, because there was so much in the beginning of it. Then they came in and they started doing so much, because I know that this whole thing about, after the fires, it was after the fires, and I don't know what all happened. I don't know, is there same thing always to come in and take over these tribes. But I don't think it happened as long ago as what we think. And, and then when you watch this, that Killing Moon thing about that family in Oklahoma, in that tribe, and it was just like what I was saying, and how that they would put these families in places, and it was all about this control, and how all these families, they are in all these places, and it is a hierarchy, and there is all this, these weird, sex parties with their kids and shit. Like, there's a lot of weird shit with these people, and they go way back. And but there's something about the fires. There's something about, there was a whole other world here. All these other buildings and shit. There was a whole nother world, and I don't know, did they kill everybody and then start over? But I know that the one that we're in is it's like 150 years, I think. I think it is very much just about this time. It's something about them trying to come out and create this habitat and this control, and to try and get a bunch of droids and stuff to make, mindless creatures that are easily controlled. And they have to remove the melanin. That's probably why they're making our hair fall out, is because they don't want us to have hair. They want us to just be like these mindless droids and not have damaged blood, damaged everything, to cut us off. So, but anyways, it's not going to go that way. It's going the other way. But what they want, what their goal was with this reality that they created, this habitat, burning everything down and then putting us here and telling us that this is the only history. It's like they put us in it's just so crazy how they did that show on Netflix to show, because they had that whole group of people and they were on a ship and they were out somewhere in space, and they were told that the planet had been destroyed, and they were the ones that were going to be the new settlers from Earth, and that they were, I don't even remember the whole storyline, but they lived on this ship, and they lived like it was the 1950s, and so it was like a trap in time. And then when you see that they're really not out in space at all, they're in a giant warehouse right here on the planet, and they have scientists and stuff that go in and watch them all the time, and they've lived their whole lives like that. Like, some of them were born there and shit. And I was like, oh my God. They put it right there in your face all the time. So anyways, but they've kept us back in like this Flintstone thing, and that's why there's gonna be this big quantum leap. But it is so multifaceted. It's so layered, because you got to remember who you are. You got to remember your own power. You got to, this is the focus. I keep trying to get people to understand, but they keep on focusing on what they're scared of in their environment. But all this stuff is meant to scare you into yourself. But that's why it's going to go, it's going to get bad here in a minute. And so I think the way that they're cutting everything off and not showing us on social media, well, on TikTok, like, I don't know, I'm not on Twitter. And I haven't seen, YouTube is totally different. So I haven't seen, tons and tons of shit that is going on. And so there's some weird shit. I guess Joe has said some weird stuff. We've got over in, the two places that are supposed to be wiped off the planet, which I don't know if this is true either, but there's something going on with some ground in some places. I think even in Scotland, there's a part that keeps opening up. Really weird. And then there's some stuff going on. So, I don't know. This is going to be biblical. And so over there, they're supposedly, using those things that blow up and hitting into our American stuff over there. And they've got a bunch of soldiers that are held, and, there's videos and stuff. So, and that could be a big show. Because they've got to bring in this big giant, I think they're going to do a nuke blast. I think that's what they're going to do. I think that the signs are all around us. That's going to be the threat, that people are going to think that they are nuked. And, and I don't know how it's going to go. I think there's still going to be some blasting. Going to definitely be some blasting. It's just going to be different than what people think. But they're going to be doing so much with their minds. And it's going to create such chaos and fear. So we'll see how it goes. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be wiped out. Like, they could be doing that, like, with storms coming in already, and then you got all these people just laying out in the streets and shit. But also, they're just pouring chemicals and stuff. Another one came out that got busted. And this guy was like, this is not isolated situations, you guys. This is real. And more people need to wake up to this. But another one, a little town, they go in and just, poison them all and stuff. I'm telling you. They do it all the motherfucking time. I know they're doing it on here. And so anyways, but you just got to be aware of your own stuff, your own circumstance, your own stuff. And there's not really a lot you can do. Just keep writing your mind, keep knowing what's going on, keep remembering, you're eternal, but there's a reason why you're going through this. And keep doing what you can to detox and take care of your health. And really keep in mind that whatever is playing out for you is supposed to play out. It's going exactly the way it's supposed to go. There's nothing that is wrong. There's nothing to fear. You're just supposed to be learning from the things that are happening. And if you're not, you're just missing out on these lessons, and then you just go back and go learn them again. Like I say, learn the lessons. And, but anyways, there's a whole shit ton of shit that was going on. Like, That is going to be the busting through these realities and seeing. You know, there was so much more going on. And there's so much difference in all of the, just the different groups of people. Like, we have very distinct groups and stuff of people here. And that's important for people to remember who they are and connect back to themselves. But it is important for this experiment on the galactic level of the unity of us all putting our differences aside, not dividing on religion and color and creed and national, like all these different things. It's not like we all have to get together and mix and have babies together and eat dinner together. We just have to accept everyone for their own cultures, their own states of being, their own ways of being. And I saw this and I thought this was really interesting, because this was a darker girl, and she was saying that sperm banks are running low on the dark guys. There's not enough of them. Boy, we just don't have enough dark guys out there delivering this, giving us sperm. So there's a big wait list on the dark guy's sperm. And the girl, she's a darker girl, and she's like, oh my God, do you guys really think that us dark girls are out there going and we're buying sperm from the dark guys? This isn't anything about us. This is you people out there who are wanting yourself a mixed baby. And it's like, that's so true. It's so true. And that's what I've been saying. It's the other people do not want to mix. It's, you know, most cultures do not want cream added in. They don't want, you know, they don't want it. And so, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like, they made their Frankenstein creation, left us out here unwanted, no culture, not knowing who we are and what we are. We're just the Frankenstein monsters. But, you know, it was all on purpose and stuff, you know. And but the people who had the hardest ships have been the indigenous, you know, the darker people, the ones that they've been out to kill and take their shit from. You know, we all have our different roles. We all have our different things that we have to play on, experience, and our souls are all experiencing all the things it wants to experience. It's what you're here to learn, what you're here to grow, what you're here to understand about, the perspective that you're here to share. So it all has significance, it all has meaning, it all has purpose. So anyways, when I was seeing all that stuff and it was all these pieces were coming together, I was like, because how did that family, like, it was like, oh, okay, so they are the O's, scenes, and they changed their names to infiltrate. They are these beings from this other place that really do look down on us. They really don't have any feelings and stuff. It's not like they're just evil. They just don't feel. Like we feel, because, you know, we are the light. We are more of the light. These people are of the dark. And so, and that there's other things going on, that the ages are separate. Like there's separation in realities. There's a lot of different things going on. In ours, you know, we get it all based a lot on this time and clocks and calendars and shit. And that's why all that is falling apart, is to bring us into that other reality, the other realms, the other realities where none of that stuff exists. And it's, you know, it's where you see the truth. It's where you see who the people are and what they are. And you understand things on a way deeper level, and you stop saying fucking woo-woo, and you start seeing like, oh, this is real. This is a real, like, you know, it's way different than what people have been taught, than what people have been trained to think. The world is much different. It's just so weird how they just put up such roadblocks with anger and laugh at you and bully you and stuff. But that's part of the programming. You know, when you watch movies and stuff, you see people like me who talk about the things I talk about get laughed at, you know, and isolated, and but they did it all on purpose, because they knew that there was people who were coming in who were like me, and we were here for a reason, to try and get people to remember who they are, because it's not like I'm better than anybody. It's like I've known I was on a mission for a long time, the whole time, you know. I've always seen it as like I'm in this space suit and I'm here to do this thing. Now I know, you know, I'm excited to, you know, meet up with this partner of mine because I'm real excited about that in very many different ways. And so, you know, I feel like that's all really close. Like, I feel like we're really super close to this thing switching and going the other way for us to start seeing the truths, to understand. And so, you know, it's exciting, even though it's going to be very tragic for a lot of people. But those people, you know, I mean, a lot of these people who are just on the sidewalks and stuff, that are just laying there, that are they've already left the building, man. Now it's just time for their bodies to catch up, to let go of this energy here. And so there's going to be a lot of shifting. There's going to be a lot of hard stuff, a lot of sad stuff is going to happen. And we're just right there. We're just right there. Just, you know, we're going to have good stuff. And it's just going to bring up a lot of pain in people. It's just going to be a lot. But we'll get through it. Just keep in mind all of this stuff. You know, and if you have people in your family that are just going through it and you're not, just remember that is why you're awake. That is why you've gone through it. Because all these people are going to need shoulders. All these people are going to need somebody to listen. And don't, when they're sitting there saying, I can't believe I was so stupid. How did I not see? What is wrong with me? God, I'm so stupid. That is not the time to say, yeah, you are. Because that makes you low vibration. No. You got to remember, that's where you get compassion, empathy. Remember what it was like when you couldn't see. You couldn't see what was going on around you. That's where you got to remember your compassion and be there for these people as they are going through it and realizing, like, because then once they realize, you know, that they were stupid and I can't believe I was so stupid and I didn't listen, I can't believe I did that, and I can't believe I did this, they heal all that stuff. Then, you know, all of us who go through that and heal, you know, we're going to be the creators of this beautiful, the seeders of this beautiful new world, this beautiful new existence, this beautiful new age. Is going to be very exciting, where it's going to be all that energy of love and support, all the things that you desire, but you don't know how to give them. So, you know, people get mad and they won't do it. People don't want to give other people support because they don't have support. Nobody supports me. Why should I support them? It's like, because, you know, when you start supporting, then you start putting that energy out, that energy will come back to you. You know, we'll build a supportive world. We'll build supportive communities where people feel complete, where people feel connected, where people don't feel so alone and isolated and sad and lonely and, you know, disgusted with themselves. People have got to learn that no matter what disgusting thoughts that you think you are, you're not those thoughts. You know, that you have the abilities to control your mind. You have the abilities to control your emotions. You have the ability to control your energy. There's so much that you can change for your own life. And so this is the transition. This is your opportunity. This is your evolution. This is your time. So don't get all caught up in this world. It's like everything is going to fall apart. Like, I feel like the dryer has been going and going and going. Like, I had to dry 4 pairs of pajama pants, and that took hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And then I put in the t-shirts and stuff, and those have been going hours and hours and hours. But I think in, you know, the oven, in the bread maker, I made my first one. It's nothing like homemade bread. Like, it is, you know, I think it's how they make bread that they put in the packages. It's very similar to packaged bread. So the good thing is it still is like healthier than packaged bread, but it's not like homemade bread. I haven't even cut it open yet to see. But to me, still, the oven and the stuff that is on the 220 to all of a sudden stop working at the same time, I just feel like, because it'll work, it's not getting enough power. And I bet if I go in and I went and really deciphered my bills, I would see that there's something that they're not letting enough power come into my house. They're doing something. The smart meters, maybe they're getting too much, and then mine isn't getting enough. And so the things that need more power, like to heat up the oven, to heat up the dryer, that it's not, doesn't have that much power. So I don't know, because it's weird, because the things keep working, but it just not heating up. And so anyways, but to me, everything is falling apart. And to me, I'm not going to sit and stress. I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to run and buy another oven. I'm not going to drive myself crazy trying to find some fucking repairman to come out here and stuff. I'm just going to go with the flow and be like, okay, something weird's going on. I'm just going to go with the flow, see what plays out, because I know we're headed away from electricity. So I'm not going to go, oh, well, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to set up for my electricity. We're going away from electricity. We're going to free energy. We're going to using the energy that's around us. And, you know, electricity, they tried to harness it, made it dangerous. So it's going away. And so I'm not going to worry about it. Like, I know everything is close. We're close to big changes. And everything has to fall apart in this reality. So things are going to break. You know, lots of things are going to break. And people are freaking out because their shit is breaking. But this world is breaking apart. And so as things break apart, this is where I'm saying don't hold on. So many people just hold on. And I got to fix it. And I got to do this and got to do that. We got to just keep letting go and letting go. And, you know, like I'll see somebody who their car is broken and they're on social media begging people for money because they're in a hard way and they need money to fix their car because they can't get anywhere and stuff. And it's like, you gotta, everybody's just looking for somebody to rescue them, somebody to fix their problems, somebody to make things easier on them. But that's not what it's about. It's about your ability to problem solve for yourself. So whatever that may be, maybe it's a way you're going to come up with money to get your car fixed. Maybe you're going to meet somebody, you know, it's your own path. And people just don't see it. Everybody's begging for somebody to just come in and fix their problems. It's like your path, this is your path. This is there to take you on a journey. And so when things are falling apart, you know, maybe it is, you know, that you need to go out and be more independent and learn to do the bus. And maybe you're going to go and do that and you're going to feel good about yourself and that's going to raise your vibration. Then you're going to you're going to cross paths with somebody who's going to, you know, give you some other kind of great information, something like people are like fight life. They fight their own life paths. They fight their own journey. They get traumatized and scared and sad and they just want somebody to come in and fix it. And we have it on a huge scale. And I know it is something that these people know because it's just too weird. It is way too weird. They have people out there who are just talking, just trying to get people to get an emotional response. There's no way. I'm just not buying the shit I'm seeing. And I saw one video. This was horrendous. And this was extreme. This was a lady and she had the scarf on her head. And, you know, and I'm sure people in the Middle East probably know all the different significance of what type and how you wear it and shit like that. But over here in the States, you know, I don't know everybody's, you know, their stuff. But she had two little kids sitting in front of her. She has some music on. And she's standing behind them and she has her hands out like, you know, when you're a little kid and you're running around doing bank robber shit. And so she has her hands out like that. And then she must make a noise. And then she jolts back each time with, you know, like it's real. And then the kid falls down in front of her. And then she does it to the other one. I reported it because I really felt like this is, I don't know about the scarf thing and stuff, but I really felt like this is some dark energy. This is saying, yeah, go ahead. It was, fuck. There's just so much darkness. There's this hierarchy. You know, we have to have this leveling. We got to get where these people quit thinking they're better than other people. It's like, dude, you're not fucking better than an ant. Like, get out of your fucking, get up out of your own ass, man. Get off your own fucking ego. These people fucking all riding their egos hard. So, anyways, you know, just keep in mind when you see some of these people who are out there saying things and trying to draw you into their problems and whining and crying and all that stuff. I swear to God, there is some set up scams going, even, you know, send them some money here or there and your account is suddenly drained. Like, you really got to be aware. You know, I just saw somebody who I thought was really sharp, and they just got total scammed. But how they got him was because they were waiting for a package. And so they had been waiting for a package to be delivered. And then they kept getting those emails and texts. Like, I'm sure everybody's getting them because I've been getting them. Your package, send us this, your package is lost, and all this stuff. And so she bought into it. And she responded to the text. And she gave them all the information and stuff. And so it was a scam. So just watch out, you know, because if you do have packages coming, those emails and texts don't have anything to do with it. Just ignore them. I keep deleting them. All the emails, all the texts, don't even open them or anything. They are all a scam. And don't answer any phone calls. There are people who are calling and they do some kind of voiceover and make it sound like it's your family member. They're being held hostage. Just don't answer any of the calls. Don't just cut yourself off from all of these things that they're trying to draw you into. You got to oversee it. You got to see over it. You got to see through it. Don't go in and keep getting trapped in their games where they're just suckling all of your energy out, making you feel beat down more, making you feel just battered. You know, you fucking got $10 in your bank, they'll fucking take it. They don't give a fuck. And it's just to keep you beat down, just to keep you sad, just to keep you defeated. So, but you got to start seeing for yourself. You got to start watching out for yourself. So anyways, just be aware. All of this, there's a lot of bullshit out there. Like these videos that they're making, there's compilation ones that are definitely got to be CGI. And then they've got these other ones where they've got these players out there, you know, who have lost everything. They're crying and just need a little help. And it's all scams. Just, you've got to keep pulling into yourself. And it's going to make you feel shitty. It's going to make you feel like, God, I'm just a mean person. Because that's that SJW program that they really like to get people, social justice warrior. It's you got to get out there and save the world. No, you can't. You know, and at this time, everybody's got to learn to save themselves. That's the way forward. Everybody's got to learn to save themselves. Whatever issues, whatever problems that you encounter that occur, is you learning how to overcome. It's you learning how to get over the obstacles. It's you surrendering. It's you growing. It's your evolve. It's your evolution. So that is what is happening. That's what's truly happening here. Is an evolution of man to develop itself into a higher state of being so that they can join in with the other ones. But the ones that can't, it's fine. It's not like they're doing anything wrong, you know, and it is a lot. It's a lot to learn and to get over and to grow. So, and, you know, just don't be down on yourself or whatever. Like, I've really tried to make a point. Like, I've been going through this since 2009. And there were things that were leading up to my brain injury, to my whole life falling apart. So don't feel like, you know, like, well, I lost my house a year ago and I've just been going through it and stuff. Like, it's not just about that. It is about, it's this shedding of this old you, this shedding of your old self. It's this evolution to who you are. Don't get hung up on who you were. Don't get hung up on what you had. Let go of it. You're moving forward to who you're becoming. And so, you know, and it's a process, you know, and there's a process to loss. There's steps. So, you know, just don't get caught up in thinking, you know, you've got to have this completed, like in 2 years and stuff. There's going to be people who are going to be very far. Wherever you are right now, bet your ass that in 5 years even, and you're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe where I was back then. Can't believe where I am now. Like, fuck, it's totally different worlds. So, don't get caught up in like, oh, I got to do this, I got to hurry, and all that shit, and Ascension and the Flash and all that shit. Don't get caught up in everything. Just keep focusing on your internal dialogue. What is going on? Where are you guided? What are you supposed to be looking at? What are you supposed to be experiencing? Who are you supposed to be meeting? And what are you supposed to be learning? When everybody else's life is falling apart, you can't save everybody. There's lots of lessons there. And, there's a lot of lessons to learn to surrender and give every soul the same respect that you give yourself, that they can save themselves. They surely don't need me to run in and save them. And then there's so many people who are just waking up to this battle over, and the strip has been going on for 75 years, and they're just like, oh, I didn't even know. It's like, ugh, dude. Ugh, I've known about this shit since I was a kid. Like, did they stop talking about it or something? Like, I stopped watching the news and stuff, but like, these battles have been going on, and they've been using it, I thought that they were using it to control our emotions, but then there's a lot of people who are just like, had no idea. Like, y'all thought it was all calm over there? You didn't know that there was constant slaughtering of people? Like, what? So, ugh, you see why people need to wake up. It's like, what in the holy hell? So, anyways, but just, everything you're going through, even the part of having to, look away when somebody is in a crisis for your own sanity, for your own mental health, and recognize that they are there to save themselves. We're all there to save themselves. And I know that sounds really heartless and soulless to a lot of people, but that's because they don't understand the soul. They don't understand, what the souls are doing here. They're all caught up in the three-dimensional story. They're all caught up in this SJW role. So, everything is an evolution. Everything is a transformation. And how you get there is up to you. How you evolve is up to you. This is your evolution. This is you realizing yourself. It's coming into your own. So, anyways, but I may come back and do another one. I don't know, watch the rest of her thing and see what else she talks about. But it was just like all these pieces were just going together. I was like, oh my God, I got to talk about that. And I don't know if listening to me, if it sounds like any pieces are going together to you, but to me, like, there's just so much more just makes sense all the time. Like, when I ask questions, the answers come to me. So I would say, ask the questions that you are curious. Ask it to the universe. The universe will accommodate you with the answers, but you've got to start opening yourself up to these communications, to these understandings. So hopefully I said some stuff that, helps somebody and start, to see. And so many people, they want to get so caught up in just this devils and demons and all this stuff. It's like, no, this is a galactic war of property and control and energy, and based on frequency, based on vibration, based on philosophy. Like, just like these people who people think are like, these are a bunch of devil worshippers and shit like that. No, they're a bunch of empty shells that have no idea how to exist. They don't know how to feel. They don't know. They're empty, They've decayed their soul. Their souls are dark, and they came from the other thing. They didn't get birthed in. It came from the other way. So, anyways, we can talk more about that later. I'm sure I'll talk more about it because I find it interesting. But, you can see why there's a lot of people who don't like to talk to me. She's always talking about weird shit. She's always talking about heavy shit. She talks about weird shit I don't want to talk about. Why do I care about who was here on the planet a million years ago? And there's so much more, it just is, people are digging and trying to understand our history and put together pieces that don't go together. Everybody's trying to put together, it's like there's a bunch of different puzzles. There's a bunch of different puzzles and they don't all go together. So anyways, I will talk to you later, maybe even later today. So I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.